Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody, joined alongside my good friend and co-host, Tony Sapita. Happy birthday, Tony. I know I wasn't going to say it, but I said it. It's Tony's birthday, folks. He turns 25. He can rent a car from Hertz if he wants to, but he has a very nice Subaru, so he's good to go. But anyway, what we're here for today is we are here for the Bears' fourth mock draft from Just Another Year Chicago. The Chicago Bears have 6 picks this upcoming year, but that could change very quickly if the Bears decide to, hey, you trade it to the first round, get a couple good receivers, or they might trade more guys away and get more picks anyway. So stay tuned for that. But the draft is late this year. It is April 28th through the 30th. The Bears are having a viewing party, which you can buy tickets at chicagobears.com. We highly suggest you go to it. Hey, we might be there. Stay tuned for that. And it's less than 2 weeks away, so we're getting excited for it. But the Bears do not have a first-round pick this year. They traded it to the New York Giants for Justin Fields. So technically, they only gave up 1 first-round pick for him because they swapped first last year. The Bears have some key areas of need, as we know, why we are doing our mock draft. And Ryan Poles will be put to the test in his first NFL draft. So, Tony, after my spiel, before we begin, and also, happy birthday once again. What did you get at Outback Steakhouse tonight as your meal of choice?
Oh, you know, I got the 16-ounce prime rib, of course. I like it medium rare, even though they're always on the rarer side anyway at Outback. I like, my meat just basically, freshly killed, just on the plate. Don't even cook it.
To anyone that's an animal lover, Tony loves animals. It's just how he prefers his food.
I love me some steak.
And so he heard it mooing from the kitchen when it came to the table. So anyway, Tony, before we begin, starting off your 25th year of life, let's break down to the fans just to give clarity who Ryan Poles has signed this offseason, because the list is a lot longer, I think, than people realize.
Yeah, definitely. So it was longer than I even realized when we were first writing it out. So the first guy, this kind of, I think, in my opinion, just, kind of kicked everything off. It wasn't the biggest signing, but it was kind of that first domino. And it's Nicholas Morrow, linebacker. He was from the Las Vegas Raiders. 1-year contract for him. Lucas Patrick, offensive lineman, 2-year contract. Could be the best signing of the free agency period. Equanimeous St. Brown, wide receiver, 1-year contract as well. Justin Jones, defensive lineman. Go check out the interview with him. That was awesome. People loved it on Reddit as well. I saw. So 2-year, he got a 2-year contract. Bryon Pringle. I got to learn how to say him for sure. Wide receiver, 1-year contract. DeAndre Huston-Carson, re-signed him to a 1-year contract.
Caden.
I was totally wrong on that. I apologize completely. Muhammad, defensive lineman, 2-year contract. Kahari.
Blassinger.
I definitely nailed that one.
Isn't it awesome that I've gotten so good at pronunciation that I'm just like, I got to do this. But,
it's always nice making Nick do it, because then I can make fun of him, even though I have no idea what.
This is my gift to you. This is my gift to you.
Blassen game fullback, 1-year contract. Dakota Dozier, no, that one. Offensive lineman, 1-year contract. Trevor Siemian, quarterback, 2-year contract. Dane
Cruikshank. I don't even know that one. Sorry, man. We've tweeted at him twice to come on the show just to clear things up. He hasn't replied yet.
Yeah. Defensive back, 1-year contract. Jesper Horsted, I know that one as well. Tight end, 1-year contract. Ryan Griffin, tight end, 1-year contract. Matt Adams, linebacker, 1-year contract. Tavon Young, defensive back, 1-year contract. And also, who's the tight end we just got from Jacksonville?
Oh, yes. Sorry. James
O'Shaughnessy.
O'Shaughnessy from Naperville.
Yep. Yeah. From Naperville.
Also
Illinois,
ignored our invitation on the show. Someone tweet at him for us and be like, hey, these guys are trying. Justin Jones was such a nice guy. He literally was like, I would love to. He did it on the chiropractor. Okay. Anyway, let's go back to the draft. Okay. Let's go to the draft. We've already spent like 5 minutes talking about just the opening. So the draft, fourth mock draft. Just Another Year Chicago. Tony and I both have a disclaimer about it. I am taking only 1 wide receiver. That's just what it is. But it's early, and I am very lineman heavy. Not offensive, not defensive. Lineman heavy. And my last pick, interesting. I may have done it before. Maybe I haven't done it before. But it's an area of need for the Chicago Bears. So, Tony, any disclaimers before we jump into it?
1, yours, yes. Definitely an interesting last pick. 2, yeah, so my disclaimer is that you don't even need to watch the draft after watching this mock draft, because we're about to tell you what's going to happen. But actually, I am changing my first pick, even though the Bears, we had pointed out they were linked. That the Bears were linked to Christian Watson a month ago. Honestly, I think he skyrocketed up the draft. But this one's weird. This draft is really weird because anyone can go anywhere. Everyone is skyrocketing. Everyone's falling. So this might actually be a really fun draft all the way through the end. So, Nick, why don't you let everyone know who's sponsoring us?
And before we begin this episode, we are very excited to share thank our sponsor today, DraftKings Sportsbook. NBA playoffs mean next level basketball. Get in on the playoff action with DraftKings Sportsbook. This week, new customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets instantly. You win no matter what. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code JAY Chicago. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game during the playoffs and get $150 in free bets instantly. That's promo code JAY Chicago, J Chicago at DraftKings Sportsbook.
So let's get right into it. The first pick for the Chicago Bears, round 2, 39th overall pick. Like I said, I think that Christian Watson may not be available. I think if the guy that Nick is about to do is available, take him. That's the guy for sure. I'm operating under, he's got a lot of hype. He just may not be there. So I've decided to go with George Pickens because here's kind of my reasoning. So I can give you all the stats in the world. Yes, we all know he's a very good player. The health is obviously a part of it. Every year there's a guy that falls for one reason or the next, whether it's injury, off the field concerns, whatever it is. This is obviously injury concerns. This man is a first round talent when he's healthy. I know injury concerns are the biggest factor, but we live in an age of modern medicine. I truly think this guy will be a superstar. And so I think that it's a safer home run swing that you could take.
The best thing, I like the pick a lot. There's no doubt about it. This guy is a first round talent. He's kind of like Jalen Johnson, a lot of concern with injury, but the Bears have gotten lucky in regards to that the last couple of times. Usually the Bears have been unlucky. But I love that you made the modern medicine comment because before the show, Tony's had the same cough from Cubs opening day for the last 2 weeks. So he's not doing so hot.
I haven't gone to a modern medicine practicer, though. I've just kind of been trying to ride it out. It hasn't worked yet.
All right. There you go. He's trying to beat it. But this next pick that I'm taking a lineman with the second round pick at 39. I'm taking Kenyon Green. I've talked about him before, offensive guard from Texas A&M. I mean, this guy just screams Chicago Bear. 6'4", 324, 21 years old. Young, athletic, big. That's what Ryan Pace wants. That's what Ryan what Ryan Poles wants. I need to go to modern medicine. That's what Ryan Poles wants. That's what Ryan Poles is going to get with this guy. NFL frame ready, can compete with any defensive lineman that is put in front of him, especially speedsters like Aaron Donald, maybe not, but hey, he's a big dude. He's a strong run blocker, and that's what the Chicago Bears need, especially with Dave Montgomery and Khalil Herbert in the backfield. He has really strong leg power, so he has a great pop off the ball, but here's the problem. Strong pop, a little bit penalty happy. Big problem for the Chicago Bears, and that's a big concern for Ryan Poles, but he is the only reason why he's not first-round talent is because of his penalty situation, which he's a rookie. Any rookie that we take is probably going to have a penalty or two. It's going to happen. But Ryan Poles, not saying the other name again, Ryan Poles for sure is going to make this thing right. He's going to put the people in front of him that's going to make him a good ball player. And that is why I'm taking him at pick number 39. Now let's go to 48 from the LA Chargers that we got in the Khalil Mack trade. I'm going with Christian Watson. I know that his draft capital has skyrocketed, but there's always 2 or 3 days before something happens with a player. People reevaluate things. Other players jump, like George Pickens. Pickens could easily jump again. Mm-hmm. Christian Watson, something could happen off the field as in an injury. Hopefully it's nothing serious by any means. But also you got to consider where he played in the division. He played in the Valley for North Dakota State, which could play in Division I football. But they own the Valley because the Valley is not nearly as talented as them. So it was Tony's first pick. Originally, I've chosen him before, 6'4", I think he's 205, and he's just an absolute speedster. He's got great hands in the red zone, be a big target for Justin Fields. I like the guy a lot, and I think that the Bears are going to try to go after him. I wouldn't be mad if they picked him at 39 if he is available, because they do need a big body target for him that isn't a tight end. So that is my opinion on Christian Watson. I would take him at 48 if he's available, or 39, but in my perfect world mock draft, he's going at 48. Tony, who you got at 48?
Yeah, no, I think that's an absolute no-brainer if he's there. And again, like we said, it could be a wild draft. I did a simulated mock draft for some of my picks here, and the Packers kept taking Christian Watson at 22, so he just never fell. I think that would be too high. I don't think they'll do that, but it was infuriating because I couldn't get around that. So either way, my pick with this pick would be Jamaree, potentially. Salyer.
It looks like Jamaree.
Okay. 6'3", 321, big boy. Listed as a tackle, but he plays everywhere. And all the draft grades right now, all the draft comments are that he will play interior offensive line in the NFL unless some crazy situation gets drafted somewhere else. So he does here. This was the biggest quote here. And I can give you a bunch of stats on this guy, but this guy is just a man. My favorite quote I saw is he has some of the strongest hands in pass protection in the class. And a little stat for you. He only allowed 4 pressures in 2021, 14 total pressures across 794 career pass block snaps. So pretty good. Like we said, he's very versatile. And as we've seen, we're obviously hoping no one ever gets injured. We're assuming a perfect world where no one does. However, there are times where we need guys to step up, play different positions. This is absolutely a guy that can help us do that.
And one thing that I also want to put out there is that we did our Bears day 2 mini camp yesterday, talking about the situation with the offensive line. And Larry Borom and Tevin Jenkins are at the tackle positions as of right now. That's what they were drafted outside of college. So if he's flexible, that'd be great to put him in on the interior line to be with Cody, alongside Cody Whitehair. But I like the pick, Tony. I really do. I'm going with an offensive lineman again in my next pick. I know that I said that was going to be offensive lineman heavy. So 3rd round, 71st pick, the Chicago Bears selection, Rasheed Walker, offensive lineman from Penn State. Penn State always seems to produce some pretty good ball players, especially at the offensive line position. Tony with the cough from Modern Medicine. He will likely be gone at the 71st pick. I'm looking at a couple simulations that they have him going in the 50s. He is going to be not a 1st round pick, but he is a talented ball player, especially in a deep offensive lineman class. I would love to see the Bears snag him if he's available. 6'6", 325, 22 years old. He would be by far the biggest interior lineman in the NFL. He would just be an absolute monster. Big, strong, good hands, strong pass blocking according to scouts. Here's why: his size alone. He has the ability to also play tackle if an injury does happen, and he has played tackle. Or, the Bears could be like, hey, Borom, you want to go play guard and, throw this guy in a tackle? And Borom goes, sure, why not? Because you guys pay me millions of dollars and I'm going to listen to what you want me to do. So I could see him coming in more as a depth guy as well, not being a starter his first year. There's still a lot of talented free agents available that are going to take cheap 1-year contracts. So you never know who the Bears still might pick up for the low to help train this future all pro bowler offensive line for the Chicago Bears to protect Justin Fields. So Tony, I see that you're going with a offensive lineman as well. Very heavy offensive line draft. You can see where our area of concern is.
Yeah, definitely. So with this pick, I'm taking Darian Kennard, I believe is how that's pronounced. He is listed as a tackle from Kentucky. He is seen as a tackle to guard convert. So he is able to play guard is basically what they're saying. And it seems like that will most likely be what he's drafted as, but he does kind of like the last guy, have that ability to play tackle. And so that's where it's interesting. I think Eberflus and kind of the coaching staff, they're kind of seeing what Borom and Jenkins are doing, seeing, are these the guys or are they not the guys? Basically, as simple as that. So then they can decide from there where they want him to play. He's 6'5", 322, 825 snaps last year, 411 run blocking snaps, 414 pass blocking snaps.
Kentucky's consistent.
1 sack, 2 quarterback hits, 4 total hurries, which is nothing. His run blocking grade was a 91.8 last year, which is out of 100. Pretty good. He only allowed 1 pressure in his final 5 games. Pro Football Focus had a great quote about him as well. Kennard is one of the most accomplished run blockers at the tackle position in college football. Even though he may end up at guard, he earned 89.0 or higher run blocking grades over the past 3 seasons. That's just good, solid man meat ready to block for Justin Fields and David Montgomery. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So speed round, we're in the later rounds. We're going to treat it like the NFL draft would be. So speed round, Tony, who are we going with the 4th pick of the Bears in the 5th round?
Yes. So round 5, 146th overall pick. So I hope this guy is here, Tariq Woolen. If not, I would say I do want Smoke Monday, although it is 420 and it's Smoke Wednesday right now. Yeah, that's a good one. You'll get that one on the drive home, guys. But I would love Tariq Woolen, who may go high in this draft. hopefully not. Corner out of UTSA, 6'4", 210. Big guy, just a nice, tall guy. He is an exceptionally rare blend of size, length, and speed to contest catches on all three levels of the field. If a team can kind of develop his technique, Jalen Johnson can cover the team's top receiver. Tariq can cover any of the taller guys out there, especially in short yardage, goal line, jump ball situations. UTSA had a fantastic team this year, and although they're not a Power 5 team, I fully trust that they can produce kind of the NFL level talent.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great pick. You know me, big corners, big fan of big corners. I'm going with another lineman, but on the defensive side of the ball with the 146 pick, I'm going with Jaden Peavy, defensive lineman from Texas A&M. I've drafted an offensive lineman from Texas A&M. Now I'm going on the defensive side of the ball. You can never have too much depth at the defensive lineman position, in my opinion. And also the Bears lost a few defensive linemen this offseason, Eddie Goldenblau, Nichols, Akeem Hicks. So low key, they do need some depth at that position. He's 6'5", 319. He brings size that Hicks had. Just needs to add another 30 pounds onto it. But nothing a little lose can't fix. You know, that's what we're about. 2021, he had 43 total tackles, 17 of them being solo, 7 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 3 pass deflections for a defensive lineman. PB is great with his size, and he has the ability, I think, that could make him a great late rounder. His big size allows him to pass deflect. He ran a 5.3 dash for a big guy. That's all I got to say. Fiery hands, according to reports. He can take linemen down, but also he is a little slow at points off the ball. So that's why he's a late round pick. So Tony, I'm going to go with the 148th pick super quickly because we got 2 minutes left here. Devin Harper, linebacker out of Oklahoma State. We do need linebacker depth. He had a phone interview with the Bears a few weeks ago, and you look up this guy, he's a pretty good ball player. 6 foot, 23 years old, 235 pounds. Thick, mean, and fast. Not tall, that's fine. Roquan Smith is not a super tall guy either. Not saying Roquan Smith could not eat me alive for breakfast. But anyway, so last year his stats were pretty beast mode. 14 games, 60 solo tackles, 35 assists. So that's 95 total tackles. 11 of those tackles being tackles for lock, 6 sacks as a linebacker, 1 pass deflection, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 forced fumble. Seems like you always find the ball and love a guy who can get 95 tackles in 14 games. Pretty impressive. His size is what makes him a downgrade and make him a late round pick. But hey, you know, hard over size. That's all I got to say. Tony, 5th round pick. Who you got?
Yep. Donovan West, defensive lineman, 6'4", 300 pounds out of Arizona State. Basically Eddie Goldman, size and stature. Could replace Bilal Nichols. We need a big boy in the middle to help stop the run if we lose Hicks and Nichols. Obviously, I know we did make some moves, but it'd be nice to get a young guy in there as well that we have some control over. And so with the uncertainty surrounding Eddie Goldman as well, we're going to need, actually pretty certain now what's going to end up happening. So this is a deep defensive line draft. So he actually may be available in the 6th round, but I'm okay with, you go get your guy when you can get your guy. If that makes sense.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Round 6, speaking of the 6th round, pick number 6, 185th pick. I'm taking Darren Beavers. He is a linebacker out of Cincinnati, 6'4", 255. Talked about this guy before. Dick Butkus Award finalist, first team all AAC selection. Great defensive player on a college football playoff team. He had a sack in each of their first 5 games, 98 tackles. Would be a great guy to pair up with Roquan Smith. Just a guy that knows how to win, knows how to play hard in a system, especially where they were doubted. Cincinnati was doubted. He's used to being doubted. He's ready to prove himself.
I love it. I love a guy, especially Dick Butkus, Chicago. The connection is there. Why not? And I'm going to go with my final pick at 185. Blake Hayes, punter from Illinois. We don't have a punter right now. Why not go get him? Because Pat O'Donnell's gone, and he is low-key. Blake is a pretty big guy, 6'6", 225. O'Donnell, I think, was 6'5", so we're getting an even bigger punter. Keep the tradition going of large punters in Chicago. And the Bears want to go big. Why not have a guy that's nearly a foot taller than your kicker in Cairo Santos? So that's all I got to say to that. But, Tony, I think that we could be the GMs of the Chicago Bears if Ryan Poles called us and said, hey, I need a break. We'd be good fill-ins because this team would go to the Super Bowl next year, hands down, with our draft picks. Tony, any last comments before we go?
Nope, I agree with you completely.
Definitely. Well, happy birthday to Tony. Happy birthday to whoever else is out there having a birthday today. Whoever celebrated yesterday, good for you guys. Hope you had a lot of fun. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde, joined alongside Tony Sapita, and we'll see you guys next time.